Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or as I like to call it, Batty Shogun's little corner of the internet. And today we're going to be talking about indie games, but before we can really get into them and start analyzing them, first we have to go through the entire history of indie games. So let's just jump right into it. I'm just kidding, you guys know we don't do that shit around here. But we are going to be talking about some indie games, and boy do I have a lot to say. Every time I post a video on this channel talking about games, which is a lot, you can guarantee there's going to be some snark asshole in the comments going, AAA gaming is dead, just play indie games, they're at the best state they've ever been. And listen, I like some good indie games, but holy shit, do most of them suck ass, dude. Would you like a deck builder or a roguelike? Or a deck building roguelike? How about a Stardew Valley clone? How about another survival crafting sim that never leaves early access? Jesus Christ. What sucks about it is the potential that indie games have. A lot of developers don't seem to know this, but you could make any game you want. It doesn't have to be a 2D pixel art Metroidvania inspired by Hollow Knight and Dark Souls. And for the love of God, it doesn't have to be a roguelike or a Souls-like. There's other genres, guys. You know that, right? It could be a racing game. It could be a shoot 'em up. It could be a racing shoot 'em up. It could even be a 3D game. Listen, I like 2D pixel art as much as you guys do, right? But I also like moving in 3 dimensions, and while that doesn't discount games in 2D, it does discount this many of them. And oftentimes I find 3D games to be more fun in general. Take Risk of Rain, for example. I played through the first one, 100%ed it even though it was fucking bullshit. Wow. But the only reason I did that is because of the second game, which is in 3D. The Hyperlight series is doing something similar. Looking at the first game and it's like, alright, yeah, this is pretty cool, but now you look at the second game and it's like, whoa, this is badass. This is something that I would actually play when it's fully released. Yes, I understand early access in certain cases like this one, where you're making a new type of game, you don't really know what you're doing. So you want an influx of cash, you want an influx of player feedback, so you can make the game as good as it could possibly be. Risk of Rain 2 did the same thing. But if you're releasing the sequel to your big hit, and it's basically the same game, but just again, why the fuck are you releasing it in early access? I'm talking about Hades 2 and Slime Rancher 2. This shit is egregious, man. Slime Rancher 1 sold 5 million copies. At $20 a pop, that's $100 million. So why am I paying money to be the QA tester to the sequel of your $100 million game, man?
And according to my calculations, I did it right. So yeah, that's how you basically do the infinite money glitch.
And this is all in the hopes that they finish the game. Remember Valheim? This was the hottest shit around in February of 2021 when it came out in early access. I decided that I'd wait for the full release. Well, 4 years down the line, they're on version 0.219, and they started at version 0.142. So doing the math, they're on track to finish the game by 2065. I'll be waiting, guys. Steam says there's 12,000 early access games on Steam right now, and how many of those do you think are actually gonna get finished? Now, you could say the same thing about fully released AAA games, but at least then you could cancel your pre-order, just cancel it, and wait 1 day after the game releases to see if it's actually good and finished. With early access games, you're basically betting on the fact that at some later unknown date, the game will eventually be done. It's like the fucking stock market, except you can only lose money.
Jarvis, invest in multiverses. Fuck.
9 times out of 10, early access is a scam. And the 1 time out of 10 that it's not, just wait for the full game to come out, because some other sucker will come by and buy it in early access anyway. And the 0 out of 10 times that you need to buy the game?
Yes!
Just go ahead, man. It's your life. I'm not your mom.
But why do I always feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, and I always feel like somebody's watching me, and I got no privacy. Oh, I always feel like somebody's watching me, and it must be just